Welcome back to race 2 of our 1975 Formula 1 mini-season in Automobilista 2. For today's race, we stay in South America as we're here in Interlagos, Sao Paolo for the Brazilian Grand Prix. Now this venue still is an integral part of the Formula 1 calendar, but it was a very different track in the 70s, but you'll see immediately once we get going. Today we're competing as reigning champion Emerson Fittipaldi in the McLaren at his home race. And this is the starting grid for today's race. Our winner from Argentina, Niki Lauda, starts from pole position. Alongside him is his teammate Clay Regazzoni for an all-Ferrari front row. Then we have Carlos Reutemann in third, Jochen Mass in fourth, Vittorio Brambilla strong qualifying in the March in fifth, Patrick Depailler sixth. Ourselves, Emerson Fittipaldi, we start from P7, and then we have James Hunt, Carlos Pace, Tom Price completing the top 10. And then we have Jody Scheckter, Jack Hicks, Jean-Pierre Jarier, Ronnie Peterson, Dave Charlton, Mark Donoghue, Rolf Stommelen, Graham Hill, Mario Andretti, Eddie Kazan, Wilson Fittipaldi, Chris Amon, Arturo Messario, Lella Lombardi, Bob Evans and Guy Tunma for the rest of the grid. Well, and after that very quick intro today, here we are on the starting grid as Emerson Fittipaldi, and it's lights out and away we go for the 1975 Brazilian Grand Prix. And this time we get a very good getaway. We're already alongside Patrick Depailler and Vittorio Brambilla. Depailler now the better line on the inside, so no chicane here into turn 1. We are on kind of an ovalish track here. Oh, Brambilla and the March with a terrible start. James Hunt all over the back of us. You can see him in our left mirrors as we already have to leave a gap to Depailler ahead of us. As now we go into the infield section. And now towards a very twisty part of the track. That old Interlagos is almost double the length of the one we know nowadays. Almost 8 kilometers long, this track. As we have a little look down the inside of Depailler. No chance though here. And now through the Curva do Sol we go. A little early on the throttle. Almost running wide through that corner, but we have to leave a gap to Depailler. But now around the final few corners we go. This is the part of the track we very well know nowadays, as we just passed Depailler in the Tyrrell to move up into P5. Now the next car up ahead, that is Jochen Mass, our teammate in the second McLaren. And this surely should be a, manageable task to make it past the other McLaren here on the grid. Good qualifying from Mass, our teammate. Expect him to be far behind Fittipaldi usually. Oh, as we run wide here through the corner that is called Ferradura, turn 5. And now Depailler slips through once again, up into P5, back into P5. We drop down to 6th. And now, this time, don't cut away. But once again, very close there with that curb. That can easily unsettle your car once you get it wrong. And now through Curva do Sol once again. Very, very long right-hander. That now puts us towards Curva do Sargento. This is one where you might see some overtaking action. Lots of elevation change on that track, of course, but it is like that nowadays still. And now we go to the part of the track that still exists nowadays. Nowadays we just cut through all of that bit that we've seen there. This doesn't exist anymore, and then immediately get into this section here. And well, if you imagine everything a little more modern, I think you can see the Interlagos we all know and love nowadays. As we now go towards the final corners. These are the corners 15, 16 and 17. Up the hill now towards the start and finish straight. Once again, not the greatest of exits from Depailler. We move past the Tyrrell, also getting a good run on our teammate right now, who defends the inside. This is the pit entry here. Don't dive too far down the inside. But now we are on the outside for turn 1. We leave the space for Jochen Maas, and he takes that and retakes 4th from us. But now once again we switch lanes and are now on the inside towards turn 3, which is a, well, a heavier braking zone than the first 2 corners are. And now we have the better line. We check, he is still on our right hand side, but he backs out of that move, and finally we're up into P4. And ahead of us there is a tremendous battle going on between the 2 Ferraris and the Brabham of Reutemann. But this here is still not over. Maas through down our inside, and now he forces us the long way through the Curva do Sol. And now, oh no, sorry, this is Ferradura. Curva do Sol is the next one coming up. But what definitely is correct is that this has cost us another spot as Patrick Depailler moves through. But we got a face full of smoke there. And indeed, Depailler has some sort of technical issue. There's smoke coming out of his car. Oh, this is not a good position to be in, behind a car that is clearly smoking, clearly having some technical issue, as we try to move past, therefore. Oh, but actually Depailler is the one making a move here down the inside of Jochen Maas. He moves past our teammates. But the smoke is still there. Now we're both in a tricky situation, because you don't want to be behind a car that clearly has a technical issue. As now the smoke, it gets a little thicker here. We can really see it now. Because, well, at any point his car might just stop on track, and then it's down to us to avoid a collision. So you better be ahead of a car that is about to have a major engine blowout. But I expect now to Depailler to come into the pits. We're not too far away now from the pits, so I think he should see some reason, as we are now getting a good run on both of them. Yeah, not the greatest spot to try to attack here through turn 16. And yeah, indeed, Depailler moves into the pits. We gain a spot up into 5th once again. And now, for the 3rd and hopefully final time, let's try to move past Jochen Maas. We've lost lots of time to the cars ahead. Once again, not a great run by Maas through here. Getting a good run now down the inside. We get the move done long before the braking zone for turn 3. Down that sweeping left-hander we go. Well, the all corners here on this track are seemingly sweepers, and this time we managed to make it stick. Well, and this here at the end of lap 4 is the battle for the lead, and this has been going back and forth. A super exciting 3-way fight for the lead of this race. In the background you can see us, as well as James Hunt, who moved past Jochen Maas as well on that lap 4. But we are focusing now, as we start lap 5, on the fight for the top position. Niki Lauda in the background tries to move past Carlos Reutemann, as Clay Regazzoni is still leading this race. Well, every one of those 3 has led that race at some point in the first 4 laps. Oh, it's now almost 3 wide. They go. Lauda is now in a very good position. Reutemann defends the inside into turn 3. They go. And now Reutemann even has a little look down the inside of Clay Regazzoni, but the Swiss driver manages to stay ahead. Now towards Ferradura they go. Lauda has another look. Oh, now very close together they are through Ferradura. Oh, now it looks like Clay Regazzoni gained a few car lengths on Reutemann, who is still busy defending from Niki Lauda. Winner, of course, of the opening race of this season. Oh, now beautiful camera angle around this very sweeping long track. Lauda now alongside Carlos Reutemann, and he moves past right after Curva do Sol. And now into Curva do Sargento they go. And Lauda is really gaining now on his teammate Regazzoni as well, as they now disappear behind the hill. Camera switches as Lauda down the inside of Regazzoni he goes, and Lauda retakes the lead of the Brazilian Grand Prix here in lap 5. Awesome job there by Niki Lauda that lap. He gained 2 spots and is now back in the lead of this race. But Regazzoni still is there. Reutemann now losing a bit of time, but he does so at each and every time they go through here. This bit not the strongest one for the car of Reutemann, obviously, the Brabham, as this here is now the battle for P5. Mars made it past Hunt and Jody Scheckter arrives at the scene. This is for the final point scoring positions. Now Hunt down the inside. This is where Lauda made it past Regazzoni. Oh, but what's going on there with James Hunt? Hans Hesketh has given up on him. He stops on the grass down the inside of turn 8. And he's out of that race, and this is the battle for P5 that is now continuing. Scheckter now moved up into 6th, but once again, smoke coming out of the Scheckter's Tyrrell. And just like it was in Argentina, it seems like the Tyrrell has given up on Jody Scheckter as well. So that battle for P5 here seems to be cursed, as now Scheckter still trying to move past Mars, but now his engine ultimately gives up, and well, that leaves Mars in 5th, but he's slow as well. That is unbelievable. Jochen Mars in the same lap. This 3-way battle has come undone in the brink of just 2 laps. First Hunt went out, then Scheckter, and then just a couple of corners later, Mars is out of the race as well. Pace now moves up into 5th, and impressively, Mario Andretti in the Parnelli has moved into the point scoring positions the way back. But well, that is a proper race of attrition. These engines can't stand the heat here in the Brazilian Grand Prix at Interlagos. It is very hot indeed, and oh, what a move there an attempt by Clay Regazzoni, but that has damaged his car. Regazzoni drops out of that fight for the top as well. The next card of this race, the next top driver it is. We move up into 3rd. Oh, what a race. Yet we're just past, or well, approaching the halfway point. How many cars will be left by the end of it? Here we come, just across the line lap later, as Reutemann and Lauda still battling for the lead of this race. And we have been, well, slowly gaining over the last couple of laps, so we might make it a 3-way fight once more. I can't believe it. Is that smoke coming out of Lauda's Ferrari? I sure believe it is. Yes, indeed it is. Unbelievable. The next Ferrari will be out of this race. Oh, as we run wide and spin the McLaren. Oh, that is unbelievable. Oh, we managed to keep it going. Luckily, the gap behind us is big enough. We will move up into P2 once Lauda retires, which he will do at the end of this lap. But, oh my, that was us almost crashing out of this race as well, right at the spot where Regazzoni caused some damage to his car by going over the curb, probably. That's at least what it looked like. Well, now we're up into 2nd. going out of turn 8 into turn 9, back to the part of the track that still exists nowadays. Oof, as we're starting to struggle with our tires a little bit. And that is Reutemann's Brabham ahead of her. He's slow as well. Oh my, I can't believe it. I can't believe it. Reutemann falls victim to the heat of Interlagos as well. And we have taken the lead off our home Grand Prix. Emerson Fittipaldi, the reigning champ, has taken the lead of the Brazilian Grand Prix. Carlos Pace in second. This is unbelievable. This is absolutely unbelievable. Andretti up into the podium spots. And, well, once again, we're going through turn 13, Cotovelo, like it was called back in the day. And just past the lake here for the final time. This is already the final lap. The end of this race has been a bit anticlimactic, but, well, there is only 9 cars still running at this point as we come around the final proper corner. And now it's just flat out towards the line. We, as Emerson Fittipaldi, lead home a Brazilian 1-2 after 20 hot and exhausting laps at Interlagos. What an unbelievable race. It started out so well with so many battles in the end. Yeah, it became a bit of a boring show. We're just trying to stay alive, everyone. But anyway, here are the point scorers of the day. Fittipaldi in first, Pace in second. Now, actually, the 1975 Brazilian Grand Prix also was a Brazilian 1-2, but just the other way around. Pace won ahead of Fittipaldi. Unbelievably, Mario Andretti finished third on the podium for Panelli. Jean-Pierre Jarier in the shadow, he also had some issues, but he made it back into P4. Mark Donoghue, the second American driver in the points for another American team with Penske. And then Graham Hill, unbelievably, the old man scores a point in his Embassy Hill, in his disappointing and slow Embassy Hill, but at least it stayed alive, and this is what mattered in today's race. And this, therefore, is the Drivers' Championship. Emerson Fittipaldi takes the lead on 13 points. Niki Lauda still second with 9 points. Then we have Pace with 8. Reutemann 6 points in 4th. Andretti moves up into 5th on 4 points. Then we have Regazzoni, Jean-Pierre Jarier, Mark Donoghue, Jochen Maas, and Graham Hill. These are all the point scorers in the first 2 races of this season. And for the Constructors' Championship, we have a tie between McLaren and Brabham. McLaren in the lead because they have won a race. Brabham did not do so far. Then we have Ferrari still in third. Panelli moves up to 4th. There is a big gap towards the top 3 though. Shadow with their first 3 points move up to 5th. Penske then in 6th. And Embassy Hill in 7th. And that has been an absolutely crazy Brazilian Grand Prix at Sao Paolo. Well, I need to rest a bit after that one, and hope to see you all the next time when we will be racing at Kyalami for the South African Grand Prix. This will also be a very interesting race at a very interesting track. I hope to see you all there. Leave a like if you enjoyed the video, subscribe to not miss anything, and until the next time, goodbye.